This is The Professionals, a podcast by music business technology and broadcast media technology students on Outcast OCCR Owens Community College Radio. In this series, students will interview industry professionals in their respective fields to help gather an idea of what it's like to work in their industry.
Hello, Owens Community College Radio. This is Wyatt Chesser, and I'm here with Max Brown, the bassist of Daisy Chain, and I'm here to ask him some burning questions about the Toledo music scene. What kind of made you want to start playing music and become a musician, and what kind of made you want to turn into more of like an artist as opposed to just being a musician?
Well, the simple answer that could boil it all down is the Beatles. They really just changed my life and everything, and I always knew I was going to be a creative in one way or another, but whether it was like painting, drawing, writing, and music kind of sprung up and kind of took a grasp of my life. And you know, after I found out about like the writing and it was something that can really free you in every way possible, kind of just took me to a whole nother level of understanding in the music. And then, you know, it just kind of got to playing with people, jamming around, and then eventually jamming on the songs. I'm in a great band with some great guys. Plug Daisy Chain.
Yeah.
Play all around. There's a lot of great music around here, but when I'm just in the room with those guys, you know, writing and playing music, it kind of just takes it to another level.
Right. How'd you kind of go about meeting these guys and like networking in the music scene to possibly meet like other musicians and possibly like future gigs and stuff like that and producers, you know?
Well, I mean, throughout it all, Toledo's a pretty connected music scene, really great one. I love the sound of it. It's very unique compared to other places. It all kind of started in high school, you know, COVID, you know, my brother and I started jamming around and we started forming bands around that era. And then some other people were forming bands. There was No Diving, and you know, we all kind of and we were in a band called Lansdowne. We kind of went with that as long as we could with those groups, and still close with all the other people. You know, it's a great scene. Those two kind of bands had their end times, and I started a band with Wyatt Chesser and Jackson Quillen and Dylan Brown from Lansdowne, my brother, and we've been kind of running on it since. And the way that you stay connected in the scene, though, is you can't really fall away from it. There's always open mics. There's always great venues doing great music. And, you know, if you're always at those, you know, seeing your favorite people, you're going to meet some great people. So
right.
I say that's the best way to stay invested with it all. But you'll find your people if you look around in this city.
Right. So I guess we'll talk a little about like what kind of separates like a musician from like an artist, you know, you know what I kind of mean? So
and that's kind of how I am, at least with music. On my outlook is you can be a musician, and I've been playing bass for 10 years now. I love that instrument more than anything, and I'm more of a musician with the bass, as in, you know, I've been practicing my scales with it all. You know, I play it on a song that I'm writing. I can put some artistry into the bass as well, or guitar or anything, but I'm more of a musician centered there, and I've got a musician's mindset with the bass. But an artistry is who you are at the core of yourself and how you express that through your music, whether that's songwriting, you know, playing a piano, a guitar, but it's your expression of self. And that's kind of artistry throughout it all. The clothes you wear, the music you post on your story or whatever, that's your story. You're putting that out. And that's your difference between it. And I kind of urge more musicians I talk to and, you know, other people in the scene, you know, find your artistry. You know, if people are having trouble of getting people out to their shows even, I say focus on your artistry. If you have a strong artist image, that's the most attractive thing to people trying to find their new favorite band or artist, you know, or at the show. That's the thing that people want to see. They want to see you being yourself unequivocally.
Yeah. So we know that you've been playing shows around here and stuff. Like, have you had like any experience playing shows outside of Toledo or regionally or in any other states?
Well, not. They were kind of like, yes, I have.
Yeah.
And all the time with Daisy Chain. It's the main project I got going on, and with that, we played in Detroit, the kind of surrounding area. We've gone into Chicago, played a festival. That was a lot of fun. We went down to Columbus and played at a coffee shop, it was like a festival.
Rock and roll coffee shop.
Right, and it was like a festival and a coffee shop, 12 hours of bands.
Yeah.
I had laryngitis at that show, but it was still a lot of fun.
About that. That's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
It was crazy. That was the first time we played a couple shows, which was good because it was the first time we played some new songs at shows at that coffee shop.
Yeah.
And it's good to do that in a different city because if it's a really good song, people feel like, that was awesome and stuff. You don't have to worry about your hometown fan base when you're building that up and trying out a new song or a new cover.
Yeah.
But we did that at a couple of them. We've had great experiences. It was good to explore the city. Sometimes we had to leave a little instantly, but Detroit, we got to see a lot of cool stuff. And Chicago, we got to visit the city and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's great doing that. And that's actually kind of the thing we're working on right now is kind of taking it to the next level. Like, I love Toledo and it'll always be my home. And I love playing shows here, but I want to see if we can create some of that love in these other cities and, see their music scenes and see if I like them as much as this awesome Toledo one we've got growing up.
Yeah. Just kind of branch out a bit because there's so many other people in the world,
Right.
You have no idea how they might react to your music or whatever, but
Right.
I remember it was funny walking into the coffee shop and we walked in there and everyone was trying to study, and then we walk in the other room and it's just rock bands rocking it out,
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't know if we were in the
hilarious.
right place. Well, also I'm not too big of a fan of the Columbus kind of their driving scene because the roads are so old, so we were just looping around trying to find a place. We finally find a public parking space. Our car is packed out with gear and it's getting cold. It's December show and we finally make our way in and I'm like, what is this place? And then it's the side room and it actually I thought it was a cool vibe, and I didn't own too many ugly Christmas sweaters at the time, so I wasn't really festived out for it.
Yeah.
But, it's those cool, shows that you'll never think that you'll play getting into this kind of industry, and then you go there, and it's actually kind of fun, you know?
I'm pretty sure I had a pretty ugly sweater to wear for that one, so
Right.
I was covered for that.
Right.
But, yeah.
And a thing that I also want to touch on is I really love this Toledo music scene because, like I said, it's got its unique thing. When we went down to Columbus, it was a lot of that Midwest emo kind of where it spawned, and that was cool. And Detroit, the couple bands that I've gotten to see up there kind of got that rappy rock vibe right now that they kind of started there. Toledo hasn't. It's not known for anything Chicago for its jazz and punk and its scene and where it started up. Toledo's got this unique rock and roll sound of it's punk and it's indie and it's catchy. And if you go to a club in Toledo, you will hear it. And I don't know if I've ever heard it, but it's just a beautiful music scene that I've seen.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I feel like it's a big kind of melting pot of all the different kind of influences around Chicago and Detroit and everything, but I think we kind of got to wrap it up. So thank you, Max Brown, for coming on the podcast and talking to me. It was a lot of fun, and I hope that everybody has a great rest of their day.
Thank you guys for having me on.
This has been the Professionals Podcast by Music Business Technology and Broadcast Media Technology students. Join us next time on OutCast OCCR Owens Community College Radio.